we're going to have the privilege of keynote speaker MjCallaway. Her motto is boost resilience, bust rejections, build momentum, and create a culture of change makers. She is the founder of Bounce Up, which you'll learn a lot more about, speaker, trainer, author, and two-time survivor. So MJ delivers outcome-focused programs that include humor, real-life stories, which you'll see in her introduction, strategic self-mastery tools that you can implement immediately. So these are things I know with workshops. I always thought, what can I do today, or tomorrow with my team? She's the creator of Bounce Up, certified change management specialist, certified virtual presenter, and leadership liaison for the National Speakers Association. In addition, MJ has earned a holistic resilience certificate from Point Park University, 4 gold awards from the Parenting Media Association. Her background includes the only female sales executive to be in the top 5 in a male-dominated industry, selling 3 times her sales quota. She blends her management, sales, speaking, journalism experience to create interactive and impactful workshops. And with more than 2,000 consumer magazine features under her pen name, she's interviewed everyone from youth entrepreneurs to CEOs, nonprofit founders, and professional athletes. Some fun facts about MJ. She's zip-lined over gators in Alabama, biked down a volcano in Hawaii, and played tug-of-war with a baby black bear in Michigan. And I think we're going to be learning about some of this. So if you please join hands out for MJ.
Imagine it is a beautiful spring day, and you're in a state park in Alabama, and you're so excited because you get your first zip line experience. Oh my goodness. So you are, Anna, please go to the next slide. You're on the platform. You're in your harness. Your lanyard is hooked to the trolley, and you jump off. Oh my goodness. There is such silence. You're 70 feet in the air. And you look down, and you're chuckling because there are gators down there. And you were so glad you were up here, and they are down there. And you're looking around, and you see this gorgeous greenery everywhere. And you are so excited, but you're also at peace. Because it's been one heck of a week, and you are just glad to have the silence. And on the tail end of that thought, you hear a rumbling off in the distance. And the rumbling, you're going this way, and the rumbling sounds like it's coming this way. And it's getting louder and louder and louder. And as it gets louder, your line starts to shake. And your harness is swinging back and forth, back and forth. And you are wondering, what is going on? What could that be? And you're looking, and as you are looking in the air, you see the Blue Angels. You didn't know there were Blue Angels at the time. And they were so loud, and your zip line is just vibrating, and your harness is swinging back and forth, and you're watching it go around and around, and before you know it, you're upside down. Going 30 miles an hour, 70 feet in the air. And that is not a good place to be. And what's the first thing that happens? You start reacting. Are you second-guessing yourself? Emma, would you be second-guessing yourself at this point? Absolutely. And you're wondering, what the heck were you thinking to think that you could zip line and not have something go wrong? And any time we have a challenge, or we're in an uncomfortable spot, we definitely start second-guessing ourselves. Do you think that's uncomfortable? And the more that I tried to figure out how to get out of it, the more my harness was just moving all over the place. And all I could imagine is I'm going to end up down there with those gators. And that's what happens. Our life can change in an instant. We can turn inside up and upside down, and then what happens is we get reactive. And when we are reactive, it's not in our best interest, because that's when things go wrong. And that's where, instead of bouncing back, how many have ever heard someone say to you, bounce back? Oh, just bounce back. Just bounce back. You're okay, you'll bounce back. We don't want to bounce back. Instead, when we're in a situation like that, we need to, oh, there should be a class slide. We need to bounce up. So I need one volunteer. One volunteer. It's definitely worth your while. Okay, who has had a stressful morning? Who wants to get out some? Come on up. And we have our first change maker. And your name is? Gina. Gina, let's get her on you. Gina, you get to have some fun. Now, who wishes they would have volunteered? Absolutely. Okay, so this is my friend here. His name is Henry. Now, I did not name Henry. One of my clients did. Not sure why she thought he should be called Henry, but his name is Henry. So, what we're going to have, Gina gets to hit Henry. Gina, whatever aggression you want to get out, whatever frustration, whatever challenge, you get to take it out on Henry, however you want. So, let's give her some as many hits as you want. Until you're done.
Okay, well, here we go. Ready?
Ready?
I hope he comes back. Look at that. See?
He comes back.
Maybe.
He bounces back. Woo! What do you think? That was a really good one. All right.
One more.
One more.
Oh, that was cool. That was
That's a mulligan. Good job. Okay, hold on. Okay, so what happened to Henry?
he fell down temporarily,
Yes,
but he bounced back.
he bounced back. So he bounced back. But did Henry move from the same spot? Did Henry grow?
No,
Did Henry learn?
not really.
No. So you control the situation. Henry did not. So when we bounce back, what happens is we allow the situation, we allow whatever the predicament, such as that one, we allow that to control us. Instead, we're going to learn how to bounce up. All right, let's give Gina another Yes.
Oh boy.
If you volunteer, you get a gift. All right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Gift card. So now let's think about bouncing back. Do we have anybody here who has ever played basketball? Played basketball. So, did you ever, so what position? Forward. Okay. So you were never a big guy underneath the hoop. All right, we're going to pretend for today you are. Your name is? Kathy. Okay, so Kathy is under the hoop. Kathy, the ball, someone tosses the ball in, and it doesn't make it. She grabs the rebound. She jumps up. She bounces up higher than everyone else on that court, and she grabs the ball. So Kathy, you have the ball. What do you have control of? Where it goes. You control the ball. Could you possibly have control of the game? Possibly. And you're definitely controlling the floor. Yes. So Kathy here has control. She's not like Henry here, who didn't have control. She now takes control of what she can control. When we bounce up, we take control of what we can control, rather than bouncing back and letting the situation control us. So how do we bounce up? 3 components to bounce up. And the first one is power up, second one is play up, and the third one is level up. So power up. Let's do a little, we're gonna do a thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay? I have control. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna give you a set of 5 words. And when you hear the 5 words, I want you to think about, does it make you happy? Does it bring a smile? Does it make a good, remind you of a good memory? If it does, give it a thumbs up. If it doesn't, if it kind of doesn't give you a good feeling, negative, or maybe neutral, give it a thumbs down. Got it? Okay, the first word is wave. It can be a wave like this, or this. Thumbs ups, all thumbs up. Okay, the next one, magic wand. Thumbs up. All right, the next one, thank you. Thank you. All thumbs up. Fourth one, Buzz Lightyear. All thumbs up, okay? And the last one, 6-pack. It can be core. Okay, I got a couple of, I know what kind of 6-pack you're thinking. Okay, looks like we had everybody with a thumbs up. All right, the same thing with the next set of words. Ready? All right, the first one is pandemic, COVID. That was an instant reaction. Okay, the next one, chemo. Instant reaction again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We got mixed here. We have some thumbs up, some down. The fourth one is radiation. Thumbs down. And the last one, challenging customers or challenging people. So that one, everyone had a thumbs down too. 4 out of 5, the majority were thumbs down. There were a few in that middle with that I'm sorry, went both ways. So with that, you had an instant reaction. It was either positive or it was negative. And that's power up. Our words actually will cause some type of reaction. It will either be positive or it will be negative. So back in 2016, in the fall of 2016, I was given a not so great prognosis. I was given a 20% chance of surviving over 5 years if chemo didn't work. And chemo had a 50% chance of working. So I needed to tell my family this. So one night I pulled them together, and I have adult children. So we had dinner, we had adult beverages, and we were having a great time. And they were just happy and smiling, and you could see their body language. They were having a good time. So think about when you're with your family and you're having a good time. And then I had to pull them into the living room, and I had to share that with them. And you could see in instant they were deflated. Their body language was that of an athlete who just lost a Super Bowl. And I knew as I continued to talk to them about how the next 18 months would go, and I could see the energy just zapping away, that I needed to do something, that I controlled the message that I would deliver, not only to family, but also to colleagues, my clients, people that I deal with every day. And it was up to me, and it was up to the words that I used. And that's where the exercise flip it comes in. So that thumbs up, thumbs down is actually flip it. The first set of words, they were great, happy words. They were actually flip it words for the second set of words, which were negative. Make sense? So what we're going to do is we're going to take 4 minutes pair up with a partner, and I want you to think about your own words, the negative words that cause a reaction, whether it's during your professional life or it's your personal life. Think about those, share with each other, come up with whatever negative words you have, and then come up with a positive one to replace it. All right, everybody has a handout there, a worksheet. And then pair up, because this is so much more fun to do when you pair up with someone else. Okay, this is an exercise you can use with your teams. You can also do this with your families. So it's something that you can do on a daily basis. Now the next part of this is once you find your flip it word, say it out loud 3 times, because then it cements it into your brain. So there's a couple of brain science reasons that this works. The one is anytime we write something down, we make it happen. So we get that negative out, and then when we write, and it looks like someone else meant yes, when we write it down, the positive, then it makes it, it makes it so that we will repeat it over and over again. We hear that, so that's the last thing that we hear when we do say it out loud 3 times. But research shows when we write something down, we make it happen. So then we want those flip it words. We want to use those on a daily basis. Does anybody want to share what their words were? We have any volunteers?
I'll share one.
Okay, we'll take that. Piano, right?
Yes. Is this a positive or good?
Sure. If you're okay sharing the reactive and then the positive.
Sure. So like nervous or anxious.
Mhm.
Translating that to excited.
Absolutely. And the word excited actually did us one of those brain science words. So good job. Let's give her a hand. Now we think, so a lot of times the second guessing or the imposter syndrome happens with women more so than men. Just research-based shows that. However, as women, we're not the only ones who go through this. Men do go through it. And I'll use an example of Jose Lima. He was an Astros baseball player. When in 1999, he was the best pitcher in the league. Best pitcher. He was on the All-Star team. He had 19 wins. I mean, he was at the top of his game. In the year 2000, the Astros moved to a new field. And it is, I believe now it's Minute Maid Park. It went through some changes. And it said that first time he got on the mound, he's standing there. He looked behind him and he said, I'll never be able to pitch in here. That fence is way too close. He had doubt. He came off of a year of being the best pitcher in the league. And then this is what he was thinking. I'll never be able to pitch in here. And guess what happened to him that year? He went from being the best pitcher in the league to being the worst pitcher in the league. Susan David, who's a Harvard professor, she's also an expert in mental agility. She says that our thoughts, our words, and the stories we tell ourselves determine how we live and how we lead. That's the power of words. We have the opportunity to choose our words, so we do bounce up, rather than choosing words like Jose did. And boy, don't you wish he would have had somebody coaching him? And then go from being at the top of your game to the bottom of your game. That's the power of words. And that's power up. That's step 1. All right? So remember, you can take this with you anytime, flip it. You have a negative, turn it into a positive. So the second component to bounce up is play up. Play up. So this play up is part of what I call power team. It's our support system. It's the people that have our back. It's the people that help us get through our goals. It's the people that we know that can help us through a struggle. And they can do it with a positive attitude and mindset. And the first part of the power team, this is one of my programs. We don't have time to do it all today, so we're going to do 2 parts of it. So the first part is the play-up player. And how I came about this was, does anybody have high school kids who drive? Or have them? Or were you a high school kid and you did drive? Okay, good. Did you ever leave your parents without gas in the car? Well, that happened to me this day. I went out to the car. My son came home with my car. I went out to the car, and it was on empty. And I was not a happy camper with him. So I went back into the house, and I'm like, Josh, you left me on empty again. Where did you go? He's like, I went to the basketball courts. I'm like, it's 5 minutes from our house. How could you possibly go through that much gas in that little bit of time? And he's like, Mom, I didn't go to that court. I'm like, it's 5 minutes from our house. Why would you not go to that court? It's because the D1 players aren't there. I'm like, what difference does it make if the D1 players are there or not? He said, because those D1 players, they make me a better player. He played high school basketball in college. They make me a better player. I'm stronger in the court. I improve my techniques and my skills. When I play up against them, someone better than me, I become better. And I thought, hey, I just learned something from my high school kid. And it made so much sense. When we are surrounded by people that can help us become better, it makes us better. It takes us, it stretches us, it moves us. We grow, we learn. And that's a play-up player. Now the second player, or member you want on your power team, is your accountability partner. Your accountability partner keeps you on track. Your accountability partner can also be that kick you in the butt person who will not put up with your excuses, and they will keep you reaching for goals. Again, they help you stretch, they help you grow, they help you learn. So those are 2 members that you need within your community, however you want to call it, your support system, your community, your hero team, I call it your power team, as your circle of influence. But before we can even talk about who they would be, we need to talk about who's toxic. Because until we identify who's toxic to us, we can't really build our power team. Because those people that are toxic are always going to drag us down. So how do you know who can be toxic? Anybody who's a naysayer. Anybody who's a naysayer. Anybody who says, I tried that. If I can't do it, you can't do it. Or they say, why do you want to do that? Why do you want to get that certificate? Why do you want to get a promotion? They never want to help you actually get to a goal. So we're going to spend about 4 minutes, and you can talk with each other, or you can do this on your own. The first one, this is on the second part. The first you want to figure out, what is your goal? What is a goal that you want to achieve? What is something you want to do? So you want to write that down. And then you want to figure out who could be toxic to helping you get there. And then come up with your play-up player and your accountability partner. And you can write names down today. You don't have to say, this is the person, but come up with some ideas. And I'll be around to answer any questions. All right, 4 minutes on the clock. Thank you. Okay. So one more tidbit about your accountability partner. Your accountability partner, you do want to meet with them on a regular basis because that's what's going to make it stick. That's what's going to make your actions stick. And share with them what you plan to do. So that this way, the next time you meet, they can say, oh, did you finish this? You know, you can say, yes, I did, or, you know, don't call you out on it. So I have an accountability partner that I've had for the last 7 years, and we meet every week. And it's amazing what you will accomplish because you don't want to go to that meeting and say you didn't do it. So it's one more incentive. Okay, so that is component 2. That's your play up player, or play up component. All right, the next one is level up. Now I need 3 volunteers. 3 volunteers. It's another fun one. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Oh, we put up.
Come on. Join me. Okay. So, you get to be the judge. So we're going to hold this chair. You get to be the judge. Okay. You?
Bubbles. Oh.
That's you, Red. You?
Oh, there it goes. Okay, I'm good.
Are you good? We can take that.
No, I'm all right.
You sure?
I'll figure it out.
Okay.
Okay.
So, this side of the room, you're Team Red, and you're going to cheer for Sam. Okay? Cheer. And from here over, you're Team Green, and you're cheering for Kathy. And you get to judge who makes the most bubbles.
Count them, ladies.
So, this is a competition between the 2 of you. Okay? Okay, and can you put 30 seconds on the clock? Would you rather 20 seconds?
No.
Okay. Ready, get set, go! Okay, ladies, not my first rodeo. Here's paper towel and dry glasses. You're welcome. And you get to keep the bubbles. Okay, but before you go, you can't go. You can put the lid on. Okay, so, and your name? Lindsay. Lindsay. So, what do you think? Okay, ladies, hold on. I have a couple of questions. Now, a couple of times when you were trying to make a bubble, you were blowing, it looked like very, very fast, and there weren't bubbles coming out. So, do you think that in that case, you were concentrating on the competition rather than making a bubble? What do you think? So you were being reactive to the situation. So that is what happens when we're put, and let's face it, they're up here, it's uncomfortable, they're in front of everyone, they have to blow bubbles, they probably haven't blown these in a while. and they're put in an uncomfortable situation. So we tend to be reactive, and this is just a fun way for you to see how we can be reactive instead of proactive. Now, there's another little fun tidbit about bubbles. Anytime you are anxious or you're stressed and you need to calm down, if you take a bottle of bubbles and start blowing them, you will actually calm yourself. You will actually lower your heart rate too. And this comes from a colleague of mine who is actually a burnout expert. She works with physicians, and this is one of the things that she shares with them whenever they are stressed out. She works with a lot of fellows and residents. You can imagine how burnout they can be and how stressed. So, all right, we have a gift for both of you and also Lindsay.
Everyone has bubbles. Bubble machine.
There we go. Welcome. There you go. And there you go. All right, let's give them a round of applause. Okay, now I need 3 more volunteers. Okay. 1, 2, 1 more. Oh, come on over. Okay, we have Sabrina, Emily, and Tracy, okay? All right, Sabrina volunteered first, so which color do you want? Okay. You volunteered second? You get leftovers. Yeah. Okay, and I need you to come here. And you come here, and you go there. Okay, awesome. So, how many have been at a stoplight, traffic light? Yes. And how many have, it's yellow, and you're debating, should I go, should I stay, should I go, should I stay? Anybody ever do that? Yellow means go faster. Okay. How many people agree with that? Is there anybody who stops? Thank you, because you probably saved the rest of us from getting into an accident.
No, I'm gonna get reminded.
Yeah. That could happen too, but we're going to take my positive. Okay. And if you see me wiping my eyes, I'm not crying. I have dry eyes, which is an oxymoron because they're really wet all the time. So, okay, so the traffic light approach, this helps us be proactive rather than reactive. So instead of being red, yellow, green, I have my own version. And we have stop. So anytime we're put in a situation, and let's just go back to when I was upside down on that zip line. Well, my first reaction was trying to figure out how to get back up. And every time I moved and struggled, the harness was not in a good position. So, in fact, at one point, it felt like I had one part of my hip out of, not in the harness, so which was not good. So that's what happens, though, when we're in an uncomfortable situation or change. We react. So instead of reacting, we are going to stop. And then what we're going to do next is give ourselves time to evaluate the situation. Evaluate the situation. Give yourself a few minutes to think about the situation. Evaluate where you are and what can you do with what you have. And then that's where we come to improvise. So how can you improvise? What can you do that can help you get out of that situation? And when I finally stopped, evaluated the situation, I figured out how I was able to get upright again. And whenever I got to the other tower, and that was Tower 1, I had 6 more to do. Yeah. So the guide who went down first, whenever I did come to the next platform, he said, MJ, I've never, ever, ever seen anybody do that before. Leave it to me. So with this, when we have a little question on the back for you. So when do you find that you need to intentionally pause or stop?
When I'm feeling overwhelmed.
You're feeling overwhelmed. Because what happens, we end up being reactive. And we can say or do things that we know would not be good. Okay, good. All right. And for evaluate.
Just after I calm down.
After you calm down. So after you stop, you calm down, and you're able to evaluate. Okay, good. And do you have a question on the back of yours? Okay.
When is the time you improvised? All the time.
That's a good one. Awesome. And this is a traffic approach. We can do this anywhere, anytime. We can teach our team members how to do this. So easily one that you can implement immediately. All right, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. And we do this. Okay, 1, 2. I forgot 2 for you. I think there are 2 there. There you go. And 1, 2, 3. All right, give them a round of applause. Okay, now this next section is Supersize You. And this is all about you. Natalie had mentioned at the very beginning that we don't spend the time for self-care. We don't spend the time to think about what we need because we're so busy. So today you get that opportunity. So for Supersize You, so this is one that I implement with a lot of my clients. And it is finding those strengths and those traits, those characteristics you forgot all about. So the first thing that you'll do is think about your achievements and accomplishments. And then once you come up with a few, write those down. And then next to it, what did you face when you were going through them? What did you face when you were on that road to that achievement? And then what did it take? What strengths, what traits, what characteristics, what skills, what talents? And write that down. Okay? So with it, and I'll give you a couple of examples, because it doesn't have to be something huge. So I did a training session with another utility company, and the marketing director. So I paired up with her because there wasn't someone to pair up with, and you can pair up with this. So we were talking, and she said, you know, MJ, my biggest accomplishment was I graduated from high school. And she went on to explain that in her junior year, her parents were divorced. Her junior year, her mother got remarried and moved out of state. And she had 2 choices. She could move with her mother and spend her senior year somewhere she didn't know anyone, or she could spend that senior year with her dad, whom she hadn't talked to. He had gotten remarried, and his new wife, did not like her. I'm going to call her Tia. And Tia said, MJ, that was the roughest year I've ever had. She said, I had to get myself out of the house, to school. I had to get myself to any type of activities, and I had to get myself to a part-time job because I didn't get any money from my dad. So anything that I needed to pay for. And that was a big accomplishment for her. So imagine what she learned: discipline, determination, resourcefulness. So then a client of mine, I'm going to call her Marissa, and Marissa was downsized out of a job twice. And when we were going through this exercise, she's like, MJ, who's going to hire me? I'm in my late 50s, what am I going to do here? So when we started to talk about what all she had accomplished, it was problem solving. She had helped a major healthcare system whenever they were merging with another one. She helped them go through all the benefits, all of to pull everyone together, and anybody who was leaving to get their benefits packages when they left. And she forgot about that. So then the last one I'm going to share is a personal one here. When I'm also a domestic abuse survivor, and two-time cancer survivor. When I left an unhealthy marriage and got divorced, I wanted to change my name, but I didn't want to change it to my maiden name because I hadn't been that person a lot of years. And I did want to keep the married name for many reasons. And my attorney tried to talk me out of it. My family told me not to do it. Even my friends' husbands told me not to do it. You're going to mess up with your Social Security. Why would you do that? Well, so my attorney would not go through the paperwork with me. I just did the research myself to find out how I could legally change my name. I figured, you know what? Celebrities do it all the time. Why can't I? So I figured it out. For $500, I was able to change my name. So MjCallaway is actually not, it's my legal name, but it's not the name that I was given. So that's a big accomplishment for me because everyone said don't do it, but I had the courage, so my trait here would be courage. I had the courage to do it. I also had the resourcefulness to figure out how to do it on my own. And I saved myself a whole lot of money not having my attorney do it. So that gives you an example. So go ahead, we're going to go ahead and put 4 minutes on. And you can talk to somebody you can pair up to do this, but just make sure that everybody has, we're going to do it this way. 4 minutes to do it on your own, and then we'll go ahead and you can talk to a neighbor to see if you can come up with any other traits you didn't think about. Okay, all right. Enjoy, have fun. Dig down. Next, we're going to spend maybe a minute, because we have one more thing we would like to do. Spend a minute with someone next to you, share your accomplishments, and see if they can come up with different traits or skills than what you did. Sometimes someone from the outside looking in has a different perspective. So go ahead and spend a minute. Now, there's a third part to this. That's what you can do at home. And it's what you can take I call them your supersized you powers, and what you can use those powers to accomplish as you're moving forward. And then you can also use them, think about the goal that you made in the last section. Okay, so for this next part, this is actually a lot of fun with beach balls. I bet you've never had beach balls thrown before in the training center. Anybody who has a plate, if you want to go ahead and toss that now, it would be a good thing to do. And then also, if you have anything open, like a drink, you just want to be aware of it.
Okay.
I'll make sure you get one. Okay, this is our last activity of the day. And this is one that you can do with your families, you can do this, you can do it with your team members. But it's just a fun way. Whenever I do a half-day training on this, I use the beach ball method. I use it for a challenge, and then we toss the beach balls around, and every group writes a solution to that problem on the beach ball. We break into groups. It's a lot of fun. We get a lot of solutions that we would have never had before. But today, because today is all about being positive and all about empowering you, so today it's a little bit different. So each beach ball has a statement on it that you need to finish. I'll give an example. friends and coworkers ask me for advice or help about, and then you fill it in. So we have 7 beach balls, and then once whoever catches one gets to stand up, and then we'll go around, you'll answer it, and then we'll toss them. Okay. Oops, that wasn't a very good toss. Can you get it? All right. Let's go down the middle here. All right. Roll this. Let me wrap them up. Okay. One for you. One for you. And one for you. Okay. We're going to start in the back. Okay, everybody who's a beach ball, stand up, please. And this is great too for presentation skills. You didn't realize that. Okay. And your first name?
Angela.
Angela. Okay, Angela.
Okay, my question was the friends and coworkers asked me for advice, help about cooking.
Okay, great. All right.
Today I acknowledge I have a lot of opportunity for growth because I just started and I see a lot of people around me.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Claire has the floor. Okay, go ahead.
I said, mine is today I acknowledge I said have a lot of opportunity for growth because I see a lot of people around me that I aspire to be like in my career.
Nice. Good one. Okay.
I'm proud of myself because, great question. I'm proud of myself because I bring a positive attitude to work every day.
Woo, love it. Okay.
I rock because I don't like talking about myself that much.
And this is exactly why we do this.
I like to think I'm a good person. I try to be a good friend. Try to be good with my friends. Try to be good with my wife. Try to be a good person.
Awesome. Okay, Michelle.
My supersized you power is, I guess, courageous.
Okay, love it. Sam, right? Okay.
Today I discovered I need more bubbles in my life.
Okay, and we have Justin.
I appreciate how I show leadership opportunities for a lot of our people.
Nice. Okay, those of you who have a beach ball, toss to someone else.
Anybody looking now?
A lot of determined and refusing.
Okay, those of you who have a beach ball, stand up. Okay. All 3 of you. Okay. Angela, what did someone else see about you?
You're awesome. Yes.
All right.
In case anybody needed to log on and didn't have access, so always thinking ahead.
Okay, awesome. Okay, Ellie.
I rock because I'm thoughtful.
Nice, okay?
Friends and coworkers ask me for advice about new books to read.
Good. Okay.
Today I acknowledge I'm surrounded by a lot of awesome women for coworkers.
Okay. And we have Emily, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I am proud of myself because I have accomplished a lot of things at a young age.
I appreciate how I appreciate how I get up and do some hard stuff every day.
And everyone. Oh,
My supersized you power is, I would say, yeah, I
strategic, resourceful.
Oh, very resourceful. I might say intuitive to an extent.
Okay. I'm going to do one more round. So toss the beach balls. Please. Thank you.
I rock because I have a good attitude.
Yes.
Today I discovered that there are some awesome women-owned businesses here in Pittsburgh I didn't know existed.
I appreciate how I'm going to say I'm continuously tenacious.
Today I acknowledge that I achieved more than I thought I did.
And that's what's so great about the Supersize You exercise. It gives us time to sit down and really think about it and discover what all we have accomplished. Good job. Okay.
My Supersize You power is
Friends and coworkers ask me for advice, help about how I can support them.
I'm proud of myself because I am Superwoman.
We need super moms. Okay. Natalie, you may have the beach balls, or if somebody in here wants them, I mean, you can figure out what to do with that. Okay, we are now wrapping up our day. So is there anybody who wants to share, what is one, no, I got, hold on. What is one positive commitment you will make to yourself? To yourself. Not to someone else, but to yourself. So think about that. And if there's somebody who wants to share before we go, I would love to hear it. So would Natalie. So would Bill.
Yeah, I'll share.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, if you haven't met me before, my name is Emma Flickinger. I co-lead with Candace Mercer the professional development committee with the Power Her. So a positive commitment that I'm making will be definitely offer more of these opportunities to Power Her board members this year.
Okay, and feel free to connect to me on social media. You can join my Thumbs Up Chronicles newsletter. If you have any questions, you can email me. Be happy to answer them. Thank you so much for being a great participant. Absolutely loved it. Thank you much.
So thank you for coming. Here's some of our Power Her swag.
Oh.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
being with us. Yeah. Make sure you keep
Awesome.
where you go.
Thank you. Thank you much.
So we get one more round for MJ.